friends, welcome to this episode of Straight from the Heart. My name is Himanshu Saxena. I founded Center of Strategic Mindset with a purpose to groom strategic minds who can deliver bold business impact. Straight from the Heart is a candid and heartfelt conversation with world-class thinkers, leaders, masters, and gurus. These are people who epitomize authenticity and have impacted the world positively. Our guest today, and I'm going to keep that under wrap for a while, is a world-renowned inventor of a thinking tool. He's a best-selling author for more than 150 books. He's done some path-breaking work in the fields of speed reading, memory, and thinking creatively. He's championed the cause for mental literacy where he believes that genius is present in each one of us. Any guesses who I'm talking about? Yes, he's one and only Mr. Tony Buzan, the world-renowned inventor of mind map. Welcome to the show, Straight from the Heart. Mr. Tony, welcome to you.
A delight.
It's a delight to have you here in Mumbai.
And delightful to meet a man of the mind.
Thank you. You have been widely interviewed, authored, written, featured in BBC series. You're well known through your work. So let's start this conversation in a slightly different way. Are you done for this life?
Well, I was given a Lifetime Achievement Award by a Creativity Association. And I said, thank you for a Lifetime Award, but I'm still alive. So it's not my Lifetime Award.
Okay.
And my life is still, for me, at the beginning. I'm at the foot of the Himalayas, the Alps.
You have a beginner's mind.
I have goals that I wish I had, another 1,000 years to deal with all those goals. So I am not done. I'm definitely not done.
So I can see the world is going to get impacted and benefit even further. So what's the unfinished agenda for you?
Which one of my unfinished agendas?
You've done so much.
My prime goal is to help the planet, the world, every single human to know about the magical gift of the brain, mind, the body, the spirit. And there are 7 billion plus people, and many, many, many hundreds of billions of them still don't yet know what this thing is, how we can use it, what the brain can actually do, how we remember, how we learn, how we think, how we read, how we study, how we communicate, how we use our multiple intelligences. So I'm still on the first page of my giant book.
Raring to go.
Yes. Always. When I get up in the morning, when I wake up, ready for the next.
Yeah, and I'm told that you spend 2 hours in the gym.
I do. Or in sport area. So in a pool, in the ocean, in a river, dancing, running in nature, sometimes in the gym. This thing we've been given, a body, is not designed to, or designed to move, to function, and every part of it is beautifully designed.
There's a saying that as long as the water is flowing in the river, there is something which is germinating and growing. Still water does not lead to anything meaningful. So
I agree with that totally.
Yeah.
Because when there is no flow in water, that water becomes stagnant.
Yeah.
And sadly, you see many people who are becoming stagnant. And that must never continue to happen.
I'm just curious to know that why mind map, why not heart map?
The mind, this is Tony Buzan's feeling and knowledge about what a mind is. The mind incorporates the heart. So a mind map, when you see beautiful mind maps,
Yeah.
the mind is in love with it, totally in love with it. And it is heartful, brimming with heart and brimming with love and with intelligence and the appreciation of aesthetics. Leonardo da Vinci and science and art are the same. They're not different. Yeah. And so to everybody, happy Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's.
Thank you. Thank you. I remember once I was sitting in a panel discussion and somebody asked, the debate was on art and science, and somebody asked which is superior. So I just thought of an answer that divinity gave it to me at that point of time. I said, why should we choose superiority? I think the art teaches how to use the science. If it is only left to science, we could do a lot of destruction.
I actually, almost to the point, I violently agree with you. Because when it's separated, when science and art are separated, it's like taking your brain and cutting it in two. And if you cut one side off, there's no brain.
There's a disharmony.
Disharmony and almost inevitable death. And Leonardo, way back, he said, and this was an instruction to everybody, study the art of science, and the science of art. Because they're the same thing. Drawing a flower, that's pure science. You have to measure, you have to analyze, you have to organize, you have to structure. Art.
And your comment triggers something. Being a military strategist, I picked up this Art of War by Sun Tzu. So on one side is war, and he says the art of war. So even there it is art.
Yes, yes. And therefore it's harmony. And it's obvious. There's no argument about it. It's just true. Yeah. So from my point of view, right now, the world is on the cusp of becoming a very mindfulness, intelligent, heart-filled planet. You can see it coming. And your programs, they're designed for that, aren't they?
Absolutely. Now, this statement that decisions are made in heart and rationalized in mind. What is the role the mind map can play in integrating the two?
The mind map, as a thinking tool and as a philosophy, the mind map allows you to use both sides of the cortex. Yeah. So the left, the normal words, the logic, the analysis, the linearity, and the right side with the color, the rhythm, the imagination, daydreaming. Yeah. Both of those fit together. So when you're doing a mind map, one is not using one's emotion or one's logic. You're automatically, naturally using them together like a beautiful rug, a tapestry. It all weaves in, so it doesn't separate them. The mind map allows you to feel it and to see the globalization of it and all the intricacy of it, the detail of it. It's a wonderful tapestry.
I like the way you use tapestry to describe the entire components of this mind map.
Thank you.
If you were to live this life again, what changes would you make?
Very difficult for me to decide because everything that has led to now have led to here. And I'm very happy to be here. You know, I had broken bones. I had been, you know, I'd failed exams. I had been depressed about certain things. I had become delinquent. I had fought with authority. There were some things in school and education I did not like. So I could say, well, I wish that my schools were all better and nicer. You know, I wish that my friendships had all been mended, no arguments. But, you know, I had arguments. I broke things. And when I broke a leg, I began to realize, oh, you know, this thing has done a lot for me. You know, at the age of 30, I broke it because I misused it. And I used to think, you know, I don't like getting my injuries. But then I thought, hold on a minute. This has walked tens of thousands of miles and run for me and danced. And I've now twisted it. And I'm saying, you know, to hell with you. And I should have been saying, you know, sorry.
Let me take care
let
of
me
you.
take care of you. So I'm content with my life so far. And I think no matter what else is going to happen, it will be, thank you, a lot more to learn from.
I think you've been sent to this world with a purpose, and I clearly see the design of the Almighty. Because if people like you don't come to the world will not come to know about the amazing power of the brain and what they could do with the brain.
I also feel that, you know, if I had done differently in school and if I got a job as a professional something or other, I would not have discovered the mind map. And I think, you know, what a gift that I have been given to know what a mind map is.
Yeah. You know, my audience would be very happy to know that how did you turn your moments of failures or setbacks, how did you discover this entire beautiful piece which has turned into a great product, an offering which has been transforming lives of people? What really is that moment which people can learn that if I can stay with this kind of thinking, I can turn the failures into greatest achievements?
Yes, one of my, well, I've got many failures. Do you have another 5 hours where I tell you about my failures? My prime failure, obviously, was in school when I did not like exams and tests and any of that. And my behavior became delinquent. And I slowly discovered that the reason why I didn't like school was that I was being forced to take notes in one color. And one color was boring, dull, mind-deadening, and I loved color. Not allowed to use color in my school, not allowed to doodle, you know. I wanted to learn how to draw, but I was told I couldn't draw. So I was labeled. So those were failures. But I began to realize, hold on a minute.
Who decides that I'm a failure?
And that was the question that arose in my mind and written in one of my early books was, who says? Who said, you know, you can't use color? Who says you can't doodle? Who says you can't daydream? And I began to realize, actually, I should be daydreaming because then I can imagine and make things come true. So I transferred those failures into mind maps. You know, me hating the notes, I just thought, I can't stand those anymore. I'll doodle on image, I'll put in some color. And there was the mind map. This year, now, my 151st book. This is book number 151.
Wow.
And it's my map mastery. I had assumed 30 years ago, my maps are done. But they're not, because people were beginning to use my maps in a way that I had never thought of. Somebody used them when they were having deep problems with their family. Just somebody did a mind map on all the problems within the family. And the whole family
Looked at like that.
did exactly what I was going to do. They looked exactly like that. Oh, aha. Sorry. Okay, let's fix that. I'm sure we can change that. And the family went, ah.
Yeah, when you look at like this, you understand the utility or the futility of the problem, which otherwise you would not have discovered.
Exactly. So life becomes, and this is for everybody, life becomes an ongoing exploration. Every day, life is filled with aha, yeah, oh, every day. It's not, oh yeah, I've done that before. I've seen, like it's Valentine's Day today, so pink rose, and people say, yeah, I've seen flowers. You look at any flower and it's different. It's unique.
It is. Each petal is different.
And therefore, each human is really different. And when they're different, they're much more interesting than we think. And everyone is really interesting.
What a paradox. The entire schooling system and education system is designed to kill the creativity. And today when I am privileged to work with many leaders, and the mandate that I get is that teach him how to think creatively.
You're just taking things straight out of my head, because education, all the leaders are saying education. But nearly all of them haven't the faintest idea what education is. Education is you must take linear notes, you must pass these tests, you must digitalize, you must not be creative, you must just do what you're supposed to do, which precisely kills creativity. When you kill creativity, you kill the planet, the humans on it.
It's a destruction.
It is real destruction. It's a horrible, unintentional war. And that has to be changed. And what is fascinating is that, like you, I meet many leaders, and they are the same. They are saying, creativity. We've got to teach more creativity. We've got to have creativity in the schools. We've got to have innovation. We've got to have more thinking going on. And the mind map is a thinking tool. It's for thinking about anything. Some people say, well, when shouldn't you use a mind map?
One should not.
When should you not use a mind map?
When should you not? Okay.
And I say, well, never use a mind map if you don't want to think, and if you don't want to learn, and if you don't want to remember, and if you don't want to communicate, and you don't want to study, don't use a mind map.
But then you are a dead wood.
Exactly.
Thereafter, nothing is left out of you.
Tree of your life would just be firewood.
Now, the famous John Lennon song, Imagine.
Snap.
Okay.
One of my favorite songs.
Yeah.
Imagine there's no heaven. See as if you try. No hell below us.
As a kid in some part of the country where I used to live, I had a swing outside my house. And the only thing which I enjoyed was sitting on the swing and dreaming.
I had exactly the same rope.
Yeah.
Ropes and a plank of wood. Was yours? What was yours like?
It's a mango tree and a swing, and there was a river called Gomti, and that's what and teachers would say, I don't think you'll do anything in life. Did someone say something like this to you?
They would normally say, because I would be on the swing, or I'd climb the tree, which was a willow tree, and I'd lie in the branches and look at the clouds. And the clouds formed all kinds of animals in the sky. And I was just,
Real daydreaming.
yeah, total daydreaming. Wonderful things. That were my favorite time. It was not, when I was a young boy, the television was just invented. I didn't even particularly like that. It was nice occasionally to see, a hero or a beautiful woman. But being in a willow, looking at the sky,
Yeah, maybe you're imagining the beautiful women.
I would imagine many things.
Great. Coming back to mind map, what is that one single biggest feature that resonates with so many people? Because if you type mind map, you come across millions of search. People have gone through, benefited. According to you and the feedback that you got, what is that one thing which resonates with people when they think of mind map?
Only one.
One which is on the top of mind that comes to you. I'm sure there are many.
Yes. The main reaction, the thing that I love on Valentine's Day, the thing that I love to see the most is I've watched people who had thought that they weren't intelligent and they'd taken linear notes. And they were taught by me or a friend of mine who I taught to teach. They were doing their first mind map. And they had said to me, I'm not that bright, I'm not that smart. And when they were doing their linear notes, they would be kind of saying, I'm not smart, I'm not creative. They would start to do a mind map. And instead of sitting like this, they were kind of, wow, I'm brilliant. And their eyes lit up because they could actually see that the mind map showed them what it was like. And it was so beautiful. It's hard for me to find anything more beautiful than a face.
Face.
A face lighting up, and the eyes lighting up, realizing how amazing I am. What a God-given gift I am.
It's a self-discovery process.
Self-discovery encapsulates it really well. And the self-discovery is not kind of, yeah, so I now know that I'm smart. Yeah. So, I'm fine. Yeah, I'll get A's. It's kind of, wow. Total enlightenment about who they are.
While going through your work, I found something called genius quotient, GQ, and spiritual intelligence.
Yes.
What do these two words mean for people in a simple way?
Right. The original intelligence was IQ,
Yeah.
intelligence quotient, a ratio between things. That was in the beginning of last century. Over the years, we have realized that intelligence is not just words and numbers. That's the normal IQ. But there are the other intelligences. There is the spiritual intelligence. There is the sensational intelligence, the sensory intelligence, the physical intelligence. And there are 9 or 10 intelligences. And so if you take your 10 intelligences, so you take your physical flexibility, strength, you take your systemic intelligence, your spiritual, ethical intelligence, and you get those scored. So you have 10 hundreds. Your GQ would be your genius sum intelligence score in those different areas. So the great polymathic geniuses, because another thing that led from your conversations, the human to be taught, to be educated, to learn, has to be taught to be polymathic, to know how to be creative, to know how to be physically fit and strong and agile. The senses have to be alert and trained. So in education, the teacher suddenly becomes way up there,
On a high pedestal.
highest pedestal, because without teachers, there'd be no human beings.
You know, in Indian scriptures, Indian philosophical and spiritual scriptures, there is a high emphasis on dialogues. And it is encouraged that the conflict is the genesis of new wisdom. If there is no conflict, there is no wisdom. So the teacher and the pupil would often be seen having an engaging dialogue, not to prove or disapprove someone, but to learn through that process.
Wonderful. I mean, the dialogues
Yeah.
with this kind of conversation, and this is a conversation with millions of people here. This multi-dialogue has millions of people buzz. Did you hear? What about, do you think? What about education? Have you done a mind map? So, yes, dialogue essential, and teaching the most important profession in the world.
You know, I saw you emphasizing the power of challenging assumptions, like I'm not creative, I'm not like this. Many of these things are self-enforced. They are like self-limiting beliefs.
Yes.
So how does one work with people to alter or reframe these beliefs that I can be creative?
Dare I say it, with the mind map. Yeah, because the brain thinks in mind map form. You know, when the baby is born, the first thing that the baby observes and senses is the mother. So in the mind map, in the center there is mum, mama. And the branches radiating from mama are love,
Affection.
affection, transportation,
Yeah.
learning, food. So you see the mind map. So everybody with us now is a mind mapper, automatic, right from the time they were babies. So to unleash the natural creativity, the natural intelligences, you just let it flower, because it needs to flower. It's already there. And the seeds of genius have been dehydrated, given no nourishment. And the mind map just allows the brain to nurture itself. It's like a self-nurturing tool. When you use it, it uses you to use yourself more.
Yeah.
So it's like a Mobius strip. It's infinite. And when you use it, you think, oh yeah. And so when you do that, you're more confident. And you do that, and you think, aha, yes, I'll change that. So you have mind maps everywhere.
It's something visually looks like an amoeba, biologically.
Biologically, the mind map is like an amoeba, and that is very similar. If you see in microscopic, amoebas, and you then go and see a brain cell, it's like a super amoeba.
Wow, never thought that way.
Yes, when you see a brain cell on a slide and it's alive, It is like an amoeba, but it has dendrites, branches, and they radiate. This super amoeba, and all those dendrites are searching for connection, to connect with all those other brain cells. So the brain has millions of these super amoebas searching for connection. And one brain cell can physically connect with 1 followed by 28 zeros. A million, and 1 can connect with that many. And they all connect. So our brain is like a giant hug. It's hugging, isn't it? Love, 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 love. And it verges on infinite. And it's in this little area. Quite amazing.
What food were you given in your childhood?
Ah,
Which I'm just trying to understand the process which has contributed to such a rich and generative mind.
my mum and dad,
Yes,
I was the first of two children. 1942.
2nd June.
2nd of June, very good.
Yeah, I'm 2nd February born, so I remember the number too.
So,
Yeah.
so I was born in the middle of the war in London, near the River Thames.
Yeah.
And my mum and dad were just very concerned with, not so much with war, you know, we'll deal with that, but what about education? So when I was a little boy, I was just shown things. You know, my dad was an electric lighting designer, but his hobby was making telescopes. Himself, he made them. So when I was a little boy, when I was, you know, about 7 years old, I'm woken up in the morning, and Dad said, son, come downstairs. Takes me into the garden, and there's this tube thing, I don't know what that is. And he said, look down there. And I looked down, and there's a lens down there, and there's a tube. This is a reflecting telescope. Yeah. So I look down, and up there,
Stars.
Saturn,
Wow.
the rings,
Yeah, the ring of Saturn.
and mountains on the moon. You know, and I had been daydreaming. You know, stars were lovely, twinkle, twinkle, little star, you know, twinkle, twinkle. And then what? You know, a thing with beautiful rings around it. And this lovely little yellowy moon is a planet thing with mountains on it. And I looked up and I just thought, my life is different. When I now look up at the sky, I see a different thing. My mum would always say, you know, if you want to read, just read. So I'd be given books, and I'd be given Dickens, I'd be given adventure stories, I'd be given spaceship stories. And whenever I was in school and was in trouble, and I was right, you know, I was arguing with the teacher calling me wrong, and I knew I was right. You know, it was just something that I had learnt, and I knew it. And my mum would come and defend me.
She could see the intelligence or overall intelligence much beyond.
Yes, and I think my mum and dad, you know, they obviously loved me, and they wanted me to grow, and they wanted me to have more than they had when they were children. So I learnt, you know, deeply in my system that education was really important. When I was a tough teenager, And I knew that I could do everything anyway. And they said to me, you can now stay at home if you want, but we're not going to buy you a car. We're not going to pay for your education. You can go and deliver newspapers. You can go and wash dishes. You can dig ditches. If you want to go on to school, we'll give you your home. You can have your room. We will feed you, but we're not going to give you pocket money.
That you got to earn yourself.
You got to go and earn it yourself, and then you can educate yourself for as long as you like. You don't have to become a doctor or a lawyer. You don't have to finish education when you are 22. You can do it as long as you like.
Yeah.
As long as you continue on that spiral staircase.
Yeah. Many times I come across people and they say, oh, I have not been able to do my MBA. I have not been able to do my PhD. And I said, who stops you now? Who says that the education has to be finished at a particular age? And I said, I did my MBA at 41 years of age.
Good for you.
And trust me, the learning which I enjoyed now was far superior if I had done MBA 25 years ago, because you are not worried about pressure or performance.
I also agree, because the pressure now put on young brains is global, and it's on the verge of being an epidemic of stress, tension, sickness, don't know what to do. Much better first invest in yourself. Yourself is the most precious, the most valuable thing. Not less valuable than a computer.
Yeah.
Or a car or a fridge.
That has a shelf life.
Yes.
This one does not.
This has infinite life.
Good. We're going to do some fun, and I'm going to do some rapid firing. So the rapid firing is a 5-minute exercise, not literally, where I'm going to look for a one-word answer for a question that I pose. So it's going to be like this. Okay, what is that one word comes to you when you think of life? And whatever comes to you, it will be fun to hear that. Are you ready?
And is there one thing later after that?
After that, we will kind of just capture something as the final concluding notes.
Good.
Okay.
I'm ready for one. And by the way, just so you know, in the mind map, one word per branch. One word per branch improves the thinking. So I'm very ready for this.
So let me start from this only. What is that one word comes to your mind when you think of mind map?
Enlightenment.
Enlightenment. Life.
Nature.
Education.
Survival.
Relationship.
Multi-connection.
Fun.
Playfulness.
Surviving.
Focus.
Giving.
Loving.
Learning.
Exploring.
You've done damn good. That's awesome, and I could see that it's coming straight from mind but also from heart. There is very strong clarity I could see in these words. And one thing which is in my mind, which is if you were to give an advice to a 19-year-old Tony Buzan, what will that be?
Carry on, kid.
Carry on, kid, you are doing fine. Great. Genius, there are genius and there are genius makers. What's the difference, and which one would you recommend?
I would blend those again into the Mobius strip. because for me, the naturally born human is the seed of genius. It is essentially, by definition, genius. It can draw magnificently. It can calculate with mathematics fabulously beautifully. It can be physically adept at incredible levels of skills. And on it goes. So the genius maker, the universe has done that. You know, so don't really need to train the universe or God on how to make one. They've already made it. So on the small sense, the genius maker is the genius gardener.
I like the word gardener.
Yes. The genius unleasher, the genius guide, the genius shepherd, the teacher. That's all the teacher. So the flowering of genius requires billions of teachers on this planet.
And the teachers who do not kill the creativity, but they encourage freedom and exploration.
If someone is calling themselves a teacher and they are killing creativity,
He's not a teacher.
they're not a teacher. They're not a teacher. They're an anti-teacher. An anti-teacher. And they have to be taught to, oh, sorry, I've called myself a teacher. I'm not a teacher. I now am a teacher. And they immediately change their
Flip the
paradigm.
mind.
So can I now give you a surprise?
Yes, I would be looking forward to.
I had a surprise yesterday. I knew that I was coming to India, and I arrived, and I met a friend, and I was jet lagged. I had had no sleep, 40 hours, so and I was given this gift. The gift was my own book. This was my map mastery.
I like the cover page, very colorful.
Thank you.
Vibrant.
And it's colorful, beautiful colors within it, and my maps within it. And it's going to be launched.
It's yet to be launched.
On Thursday. Wow. Tomorrow. So I was really happy that, because I'd only had one copy myself. And it has suddenly been available in India, and it's officially published at the beginning of March. So
Thank you.
So that is for you.
And can I have your...
I will definitely sign it.
And Thursday is a great day for a book launch, because in India, Thursday is the day of Guru. Guru is a teacher.
So tomorrow, the day when I am teaching, is the Teacher's Day?
Yes. Not an officially globally known Teacher's Day, but the planets, Indian astrology system, there are planets. So the planet of Guru, which is Thursday, that is related to teaching.
What a delight. So that is an incredible surprise. It's a wonderful Valentine's gift. And I'm now going to give you the second one that I was given.
It's a lucky day for me.
And it's a lucky day for all of us and India, because examinations, at the beginning, I didn't like exams anyway. And I had heard that there was something to do with exam warriors.
Warriors.
And I had started 30 years ago, the Warriors of the Mind organization. Just anybody who wanted to learn how to use their brain, their mind, I gave them a badge. And I am wearing the Warrior of the Mind badge.
That's beautiful. From distance, it also looks like a guitar.
It is like a guitar, like a tree,
Yeah.
like a four-clover, like reindeers meeting,
Yes.
and like a neuron, a brain cell.
Yes.
So this is the warrior of the mind badge for anybody who uses their brain well and helps other people do it well. So somebody had said, exam warriors. I thought, I wonder if that individual, has been reading me, knows about me. This individual wrote a book called Exam Warriors in India.
I'm curious to know who's the author.
Would you like to know?
Yes. Because he's captured someone's sentiments very deeply.
Very deeply. And that is the book.
Exam warriors. I think from faces I can make out who would have authored.
Beautifully illustrated. Children having fun. Just wonderfully done. And I could not believe it. But this, now, here, changes India, changes the world, changes my life. My life could be done, but it's not, because I have a new friend. And so do mind maps.
You're drawing new synergy with your new friend
Yes.
through mind map.
And everybody, yes. Are you ready?
Yes.
Ta-da!
I couldn't imagine this. Namo, Narendra Modi. He's pronounced as Namo, Narendra Modi.
Namo.
Namo, Namo.
Namo.
Yes.
What a lovely name.
Thank you. Really excited.
He was a Prime Minister of India. And in this book, right in the middle of the book, he says, by the way, all you children, you have an action, try a mind map, and you must know how to mind map. And here is a mind map and how to use them and share them with everybody.
Yeah. And each branch is a seed or source of creativity.
Yes. So he is saying, formally, professionally, publicly, listen everybody, mind map, become creative, learn how to use your imagination, learn how to daydream. And when a prime minister of 1,300,000,000 people is saying, by the way, you 1.3 billion people, my map, the world can change just like that.
Yeah.
And I was given this yesterday.
Thank you. Congratulations. And what a wonderful sharing of two things which are absolutely synergistic.
Yes.
And greatly resonates with each one of the work.
So we give this to the entire audience. This is
Thank you.
and this is for you as well.
My pleasure.
A total delight.
Thank you.
And I have one thing to give you publicly. I'm going to give you the Warrior of the Mind badge. I'll put that in your pinhole. Just make sure we have that. Yes.
I'm truly honored.
Ta-da!
It's like in the Indian system, you touch someone and he gets all the power and knowledge. So I'm just feeling the recipient of the entire knowledge. In fact, I was going to ask you, where is your halo? The halo behind such a wonderful and highly generative brain. I got something for you. Can I take that book from the bag? This is a book. I don't have a fresh copy. It's my copy because it's not easy to get one, but I'll try and get.
Yes, please.
This is a book called The Holocaust of Attachment.
Fascinating.
Okay,
Yes.
and when it comes to spiritual intelligence, you will find a lot of resonance from this book.
Beautifully bound. May I see?
Yes, the only thing,
I won't keep.
yeah,
Beautifully printed. Beautifully bound.
and I tried my best to get a fresh copy, but I just wanted to show that this is a book you will get. You may find some notes of mine.
Yes. Always important to make notes
Yeah,
in a book. I was not allowed to do that in school either.
I can imagine. And I have a point of view on this. If you make your books dirty, your mind would be cleaner.
Is that your quote?
Yeah,
I like that one.
yeah, because cluttering there declutters here.
The brain needs decluttering.
Yeah,
It needs to be cleared, cleaned.
so when you are in a long flight, you're going to enjoy this.
And there's a lot of poetry in here.
Yes, the lovely poems.
Wonderful. I will definitely look forward to that. You've thought a lot about this.
Yeah, I find a lot of resonance in this book about life.
When did you write?
It's been 2 years back.
Excellent. And are they all covered like this?
Yeah. So this author, Parthasarthi, he has an academy in 2 hours drive from Mumbai. It's called Vedanta. The Vedanta is the most ancient knowledge scriptures of India. And it emphasizes the art of reasoning and intellect and mindfulness.
So it's an essence,
It is the gist and the essence.
a pearl.
Yeah. I would not have given this book to anyone.
I would never give, unless it was someone who was going to look after me when I passed on.
Yeah, so it's like that.
Very important that.
Thank you. Congratulations. And I'm really truly humbled by sitting in your presence and learning from you. It's been a great conversation. I'm just lucky to have this time from you. And thank you very much for making it happen.
And I am honored to be in your presence. Your presence is a present. And your conversation is an enlightening conversation. And it's wonderful to meet a mind that has been using itself incredibly well and is helping millions and hundreds of millions of other people to use their brains well. And your thinking is clear. But it's more like a mountain lake, pure water. It's pristine. And that is your mind.
Can I shake your hand once more?
Yes, definitely.
And the reason I am sharing this, they say when knowledge leaves your hand and goes to someone else, the wisdom comes. So I am seeking wisdom from you. Thank you very much, Tony. Pleasure having you. Thank you.